I guess we are live. What is going on, family? Good to see you. I guess we are live. What is going on, family? Good to see you. Here we go. Let's see what is happening here. Now, okay, where is, is it this one? Last time my picture was up here. What am I doing different this time than I did last time? I think it's got to go here. Okay, I think let's stop the share. Let's do this. There you go. What's going on, family? Hopefully this went out okay. Hopefully you guys got the notification. Using Zoom again, so I'm thinking it's working fine. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. I was waiting for some people to get into the chat. Hopefully that's working right. Hopefully notifications went right. I think I did everything right. Great day to be in a digital asset space. I can tell you that. Happy, what is this, Sunday? Snake Daddy's in the building. Hello from Minnesota. What's going on, Snake? Good to see you in the stream today. I don't know what, hopefully this is a kind of a good time for everyone. I know it's Sunday. Some people probably just finishing up, you know, lunch after church, meeting with friends. But I want to cover this article, cover this video with Jim Rickards. Whoa, what's going on with that? Happy Sunday, all. What's up, Jay Fretless? Happy Sunday to you, my friend. Just trying to find out what's happened. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this article. This is an article from a ways back, I believe. I'm going to talk a little about this shift from the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency. I think this is something that is taking place. I'm going to share a few tidbits from a video with Jim Rickards that it's interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. And now that I'm using Zoom, I won't have the audio issues like I normally have. So what's going on in the market anyway, guys? I don't even know what's going on. I think Bitcoin's like 7,000 something. XRP is still at right around 19 cents. So nothing's changed there. Let me see what's going on. Let me make sure. I think that's what it was. Okay, there it is. I did a video earlier today, XRP Ripple Daily News, and I talked about the Warren Buffett approach to digital assets. I commented, somebody on Twitter were talking about, I don't know, not happy with it. I just got pleasantly surprised. I just got done watching your previous video and was wondering what to watch and caught the live stream. Oh, nice, D Stu. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here, bro. Yeah, so, you know, I see this article, I see this tweet, and I'm like, does not make sense. Really just, you know, more power to it, but, you know, anyway, I'm like, what is the deal? People have got to realize, you know, here's what I said. You know, a lot of people are out there, they throw the word investor around. And I beg to differ. I think most of the people in this space are traders and not investors. Snatching up all these different things, and nothing's wrong with trading. But what I'm saying is, don't call yourself an investor when in reality, what you really are is trading. Investors are in things for the long term, for the long haul. Investors do their due diligence, they do their major research, they have people doing research and due diligence for them. They navigate around the clutter and the mess and the junk, and they find the great projects that last a lifetime. They can last for decades, and they invest in that project. Right. And so for people that, who claim to be XRP hodlers, if you're an investor, that's one thing in XRP. If you're a trader of XRP, cool, you're a trader of XRP. Nothing wrong with that. But don't call yourself an investor when in reality you're a trader. You're trading the asset. You're looking at the price. You're checking to see in 30 days or 60 days and 90 days what your gains can be like. That's trading. That's trading. It's not an investor. And Warren Buffett doesn't check his portfolio every 30, 60, 90 days and look to, trade it. That's not what he does. The dude is in the building. What's going on, my friend? How are you doing today, brother? Good to see you on the stream. Anyway, so I kind of commented on Twitter, and I commented on the tweet, and then I retweeted the tweet, and then I just copied and pasted my response again, because I just think look, this is a very tough, difficult time for all, for the entire digital asset space. We still haven't mooned, right? The halving is coming, but we still haven't mooned. So it's been a long time, close to 3 years in a bear market. And it can cause people to lose faith, right? Especially if you're in a position where you have now invested more than you could afford to lose. If you can't wait any longer, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and to get some money and different things like that, right? I get that. But again, don't call yourself an investor when you're really just a trader. You're trading the asset. You're not an investor in asset. What's going on, Rod Hop? Good to see you, bro. Good Sunday, people. Yes, sir. Digital, what's good? Crypto Seas. Life is great, brother. What's good with you, man? So in any case, guys, do me a favor, smash the likes and subscribe to the channel if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, and make sure that you're ringing that notification bell. I know it's a Sunday, people probably just kind of finishing up from church, and maybe, a lot of people like to go out and have a meal or something after church, probably meeting with some friends for a little bit. But I wanted to hop in here and do a live stream. I'm going to do another video, not a live stream, but another video later on today as well. And I'm like, what should we talk about? And then I came across this article on Twitter that I thought was, we could share, because I do believe that, the US dollar, it will be dethroned as the world's reserve currency. I just think it's inevitable. XRP, Ali Lacour is in the building. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Listening with your wife. Oh, say hey to the missus for me, bro. So, that's what I think is going to happen. It's just, it's just a matter of time, really. Also came across an article from the United Nations in 2009 about replacing the dollar as the U.S. reserve currency. None of your business. I'm just now figuring out what that name was. I'm literally just figuring that out, because it's funny because my kids used to say that, and I'm literally just freaking that out. None of your business. Funny. As I've been calling you Nunya this whole time. I apologize. Oh man, right? So that's kind of the deal. So what is this article? United Nations proposes new global currency. This is from CBS News, CBSnews.com in 2009. We'll go over that a little bit. And also this article from Money, and they spell it Munknee. That's funny, money.com. Clever. Very, very clever, right? The cops know that as well. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you, right? And so uh, that is interesting, you know, the fact that this is going to happen. I just think it's inevitable. It's no big deal. The new asset class will be the digital asset space. It's without question. Major, ginormous behemoths like BlackRock and BNY Mellon know this. They know it. That there's a new asset class out there, and it is, in fact, the digital asset space. And they have been positioning themselves for years. For years. I do think this video I'm going to share with you guys, it's titled Ice 9, The Coming Big Freeze with Jim Rickards. And I guess it's a guy named Dirk Gavel has him on his show. It looks familiar. YouTube's biggest douche is in the building. What up, bro? What's up with you, man? Thanks for the $5 super chat, my friend. I appreciate that big time. Always appreciate you supporting the channel. You know, so I'm going to share two parts from that. Listen, you can't argue Jim Rickards' geopolitical status, background, reputation, history. He has it. Doesn't mean he's always right in what he says, but he has it. He has the credibility. He has the inside contacts. He does, in fact, have these inside conversations with people. I mean, it is what it is. He has it. And so I always find it as interesting that he has these inside conversations and he's still able to share, you know, bits and pieces of these conversations publicly. I found that to be very, very fascinating. But D. Daniels, what's up, bro? What is going on, my brother? Can we please get XRP to $100 so I can retire as soon as possible? I know, I'm with you, man. I am with you. So the Fed is what? They're out. They're going to be gone for a few days. Is this the word? What is that? I forget what they call that. I don't know. I don't know what they call it. It's a break in session, right? So they're not together. So they're going to be, I don't know when they're going to convene again, but they're not together now. So it's supposed to be 10 days. I don't know when the 10 days started. What's going to happen when they come back? It's going to be very, very interesting. You know, it's such an interesting time right now. I'm going to let you listen to something that Jim Rickards says, and it feels as though that is exactly what's happening today. I heard BK early on his stream. Was it today? It was early. Yeah, it was on his stream today, and it's so very, very true. You know, I say this a lot in my business presentations all the time. The economy is shut down. People are out of work. People have lost income by no fault of their own. They are in a bad situation, right? And it's a very, very tough situation. But the reality is this country and even, you know, a lot of the world, right? A lot of the world shut down. Shut down. Why is that? Why is that? You can't say it's because of the beer code. That's the reason that they're using, but it can't be that. You don't need to shut down the world, right? You don't need to shut down the economies of the world to deal with this. We all know it. This is the 21st century. We can do things without having to shut everything down. This was a great maneuver in order to do something. The question is, what? What is that thing? You know, what is your thing? What is that thing that they're shutting down the world to do? What is it? It's not to treat the beer cold. So what is it ultimately that they're looking to do? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Bitcoin Ben is constantly saying there's a battle between Bitcoin and the Donald. Bitcoin and the Donald. There's a battle. I'm trying to understand it because when he says Bitcoin, he's really talking digital assets. Why is there a battle between the Donald, President Trump, and digital assets? Why? What is it? What's that about? Why is there a battle between the digital asset space and the powers that be that want to usher in the digital asset space and the Donald? What is it? What's the reason? Is it perhaps that the Donald wants to keep the dollar as the world's reserve currency and back it by gold? Is that it? And versus the powers that be that understand this is a new asset class is happening. The dollar is not going to retain its status as the world's reserve currency. Is that it? Maybe that's the battle. And I'm asking because I don't know. I honestly don't know. I am sincerely asking you guys, what is the battle? You know, like what really is the battle? Because you can't stop the digital asset space. That's going to happen, right? They've already admitted to that, right? This innovation, this technology will innovate around us, right? That's what Jay Clayton said. It's already here. It's already here. So my guess is that the battle is with the dollar. To me, that's the battle. It's the powers that be, whoever this is over here in the Donald, and it's about the dollar and as the world's reserve currency in that fight. That's the only thing I could see. You know, he's always for the good old US of A. But here's the thing that I'm thinking to myself is, I'm thinking to myself that he knows it's a big time battle uphill to keep the dollar as the world reserve currency. So he has another plan. And I believe, interestingly enough, it involves a digital asset, right? It involves a digital asset that is here's a key thing. It may be permissionless and open protocol, right? But it's born, bred in the good old US of A by a company in the good old US of A. Okay. And I think for me, that's his ace in the hole. That's his ace in the hole. That's what I think. So we shall soon see, guys. I'm going to share some of this stuff with you guys. You two biggest deuces, what do you guys think of Chainlink? I think they're making very, very interesting and intelligent moves. You personally think Ethereum is going somewhere? Would Bitcoin be a good investment? I understand it would only be your opinion. No blame on you for losses, LOL. Yeah, and it's not really that. I believe that the top 5 to 10 are going to do well short term to medium term, right? 3 to 5 years. I think the better bang for anybody's buck, obviously, right? If Bitcoin's at 7,000, Ethereum is less than 200, and XRP is less than 20 cents. Where are you going to get the better bang for your bucks? In my opinion, I think it's going to be in Ethereum and XRP. And I already know about XRP. Like I already know that that's long term. It's in my opinion, it's the greatest digital asset ever created. It's long term. I was reminded today that one XRP can be divided by 1 million. 1 million. 1 million. So that's a lot, right? And if you consider there's 100 billion and you can divide each by 1 million, it can serve as a global economy, commerce. It can serve that global economy. Any global economy's commerce, that XRP can serve that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Ultimately, I've always said that XRP's greatest strength is it provides liquidity, and that the global economic crisis is in fact illiquidity. XRP has been stapled as the most liquid asset especially in the digital asset space, the most liquid asset. It's proving itself in real world cases like Bitso and MoneyGram and Money Match, right? And GoLance. It's proving itself. So what we're talking about is a digital asset that is in regulatory compliance and that has proven its real world utility. Has proven it. It can be divided by 1 million. It provides liquidity on demand. On demand. On demand. That is a very, very, very valuable asset. And that's just the XRP. What about the ledger and what the ledger does? What about Xcurrent and what it does? What about Ripple and its products? What about what's the other thing? The exchange. Tell me about this next generation exchange that Ripple has via the XRPL ledger. What is that about? It just all points to what Ripple is going to do ultimately. We can't keep forgetting about, the people from Ripple meeting at the White House and then subsequent meetings with Garlinghouse and Mnuchin at the White House. And if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Why isn't the people from Chainlink meeting with the people in the White House? Why isn't Dan Larimer meeting with the people at the White House? Why isn't Charles Hoskinson, Vitalik Buterin, why aren't they meeting with the people in the White House? Why don't we see pictures of them hanging out with Madame Lagarde and people from the IMF? Why aren't they meeting with central bank? Why aren't the people from Stella Lumens meeting with the people with the central banks, central bankers? Right? They have a project. All those people I just mentioned, they all have a project. They all have a technology, right? They all have a project. They all have a technology. Why aren't they meeting with those prominent people like I just mentioned? And don't forget the slip up that Mnuchin did when he mentioned MoneyGram. They were talking about, it was a press conference, and I believe they were talking about central bank digital currencies or something or another like that, digital assets for payment, something. And Mnuchin brings up MoneyGram. MoneyGram's not in the digital asset space. He brought up MoneyGram. Why? Because he knew that MoneyGram was using a digital asset for cross-border payments. He knew that. Of course he knows that. Because if we knew, they know. And again, I've always said this, that Wall Street's MoneyGram's use of XRP in the ODL was in fact Wall Street's proof of concept. Because Wall Street understands MoneyGram's business model, money transmitter business. They understand that, right? And they got the word. What? Oh, hold on a second. MoneyGram is using, first of all, they partnered together. This small startup fintech company partnered with MoneyGram, gave them $50 million to do whatever, and they're going to be using, what are they going to be using? Wait a minute, they're going to be using their digital asset. They're going to be using Ripple, this thing, Ripple. Yeah, it's called XRP, but yes, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be using XRP. Okay, let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. And then they get the Q2 and the Q3 and Q4 reports. And they hear the CEO and the CFO acting like two 14-year-old kids, just as giddy as possible, like they just, right? Like they had just, saw something that would make them very, very happy as teenage boys. if you understand what I'm saying. Acting like two little 14-year-old boys on a call, not only once, but twice, not only twice, but 3 times, giddy, talking about new revenue streams, talking about the value add of a digital asset called XRP. Once they got that word, once Wall Street and the powers that be got the word that this is what is happening, it was all over. That was proof enough for them. That was proof enough for them. And that's why Mnuchin mentioned MoneyGram. It probably was a slip up, but he mentioned them. He wasn't mentioning them in a context of competing with Western Union. They were talking about digital assets. They were talking about either central bank digital currencies or Libra or something. And they mentioned MoneyGram. Why would they mention them? Because they knew. They know about XRP. Mnuchin, for crying out loud, put together Executive Order 13772 with another guy, and the Donald signed it, a new financial system, where it mentioned Ripple, the company. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, and to me, that's the Donald's plan. He may take the initial traditional route, great, make America great again, keep the dollar as the reserve currency, bring back and, put the dollar on, put gold back, the dollar back on the gold standard and all that stuff. But if it can't happen, if it doesn't happen, if he can't win with plan A, he's got a plan B. He's got a plan B. And I personally believe it's Ripple and XRP. I really, really, really do believe that. Right? Because he could come up with the answer to the crisis. Now, I'm going to share some stuff with you that kind of lends to the fact that there's got to be a crisis and someone has to come to the rescue in said crisis. And I believe that the Donald is wanting to do that. Now, maybe the powers that be are wanting to say it's wanting to do it themselves or do it a different way. But the Donald, I believe, wants to do it. And I believe because he wants to get reelected, for one. So let me play a couple of things here with you guys.
Manager on the planet. It directly manages $5 trillion.
Talking about BlackRock.
Power will be summoned to contain panic. Capitalism will be discredited once and for all. Not only will the coming crisis destroy more investor wealth than 2008, not only will it last much longer than the Great Depression, this crisis will be historic for another reason. And I'm talking about this network of elites using the crisis for cover. At the appointed hour, they'll launch their attacks, and the financial system will go dark worldwide. Trillions will vanish instantly, and in many cases, permanently. And hundreds of millions of Americans will be cut off.
Hold on. I didn't do something, I think, here. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot to share screen here. Hold on. There it is.
Off from their own money for months or even years. Now, this sounds like the biggest confiscation of wealth in history. There's no doubt. So, Jim, let me ask, could you please share with our viewers where this threat is coming from and how to prepare? Dark. Worldwide. Trillions will vanish instantly. And in many cases, permanently. And hundreds of millions of Americans will be cut off from their own money for months or even years. Now, this sounds like the biggest confiscation of wealth in history. There's no doubt. So, Jim, let me ask, could you please share with our viewers where this threat is coming from and how to prepare?
Let's start with some background and context, because I know this must sound hard for some viewers to believe. I was having dinner with a friend not long ago in New York City. We met at a place called Oriole, which is in Midtown. My dinner companion that night was a senior advisor to BlackRock. As you may know, BlackRock is now the largest asset manager on the planet. It directly manages $5 trillion in assets, and it oversees another $11 trillion through its Aladdin platform. That means one firm controls more money than the GDPs of China, Russia, and Japan combined. Anyway, my dinner companion happens to work directly for BlackRock's CEO. As we nursed our white wine and the evening wore on, she let something slip. If I remember her words, she said something like, "They want to tell us we can't sell." What was she talking about? Who was she talking about? I placed a few calls, first to my contacts in Washington, then to a few people on Wall Street. Soon I was on a plane for a series of meetings to London, to Geneva, back to New York, then down to South America. As I began connecting the dots, a pattern emerged. It revealed a network of more than 189 individuals positioned inside the world's major financial institutions. Some of them hold senior positions inside the IMF, World Bank, and every central bank in the G20, including our own Federal Reserve. These elites share one vision, and they're about to make it a reality. That vision is one world order, one world taxation, and one world money. They've worked for years behind the scenes preparing to realize that vision. They've literally rigged the laws of international finance. Everything is basically in place right now, and there's essentially no way to stop this from happening. When the crisis hits, they'll flip the switch, freezing the global financial system. That will give them time to reset the world economy according to their vision. As the coming crisis unfolds, President Trump will be powerless to stop it. In fact, trying to stop them would probably weaken the president's power altogether.
That is amazing, Jim, really. So what did these elites want from your contact at BlackRock?
Basically, they want to classify BlackRock as too big to fail. The technical term is Systemically Important Financial Institution, or SIFI. That designation normally applies to banks, such as Bank of America. If your bank gets the SIFI label, it means the government will bail you out first in a crisis. But it also means you must turn over control of your bank until the crisis subsides. In this case, they're trying to reclassify BlackRock, an asset manager, as too big to fail. If they succeed, they'll be able to freeze BlackRock when the crisis hits. BlackRock clients won't be able to sell. They won't be able to buy either. Their accounts will go dark indefinitely, and the elite operatives will take control of BlackRock's assets remotely via the internet.
Now, yesterday I played a video, there was no echo. So this time there was an echo, huh? Did it get better? Did the sound get any better? I ended up turning my microphone off. Crypto Kevmo, what's going on? He said, yes, it echoed. Did it get better? Because yesterday I played it was fine. No problem at all. It did improve? Okay. Yeah, I know Zoom, when you share, you can hit that share computer sound and it'll pick it up. But yesterday I played it was fine. This time, I don't know, not so much, I guess. So that's just one part there. I find that to be very, very interesting. Tundra Music Review. What's up, my friend? Martin 958, appreciate you being here, brother. GXRP is in the building. Crypto Kev Mo, what's going on, bro? Spanish Fly, hey, how are you, miss? Can you share the link to this video? Absolutely. I sure can. Trump is a Zionist, right? So, I mean, that's the thing that I think it's very, very interesting, guys. Yeah, do me a favor, guys. 56 people on the stream. If you haven't had a chance yet to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subbed yet, I definitely appreciate you doing that. Just go collapse the chat real quick. Go smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're enjoying the hangout. Let us retire already, says Steve Hughes. I know, right? James Shepard says the digital dollar is part of Accenture, right? So Accenture and the digital dollar project hooked up together, right? With Chris Giancarlo, I believe, or maybe even the Giancarlo brothers, right? And the whole world is going to run on Ripple. It makes sense to me, James Shepard. It really, really does. I'm doing a live stream, baby girl. So that is the deal right there, right? So that's just one part of it. Thank you, Spanish Fly. Yeah, please smash the likes and subscribe. I appreciate you doing it. 57 people, 30 likes. Let's get that number up to at least 50, guys. Definitely appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm on YouTube so that we can get this channel out to more people. Because again, like I always say, we need more of us in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. Big face, no cap. Yeah, I'm live from Brooklyn, New York. How about that? I've been watching XRP videos and Stellar Lumen, to be honest. Well, I appreciate you being here, bro. I appreciate that. What part of Brooklyn are you from, my friend? I hail from Brooklyn, New York as well. Judy Shelton posted on Twitter that the Fed is in discussion until April 28th to 29th. And yeah, I saw those dates. And then someone commented XRP the standard, and she actually liked it. This can be verified. Yeah, I saw that Tundra Music review. I did see that. I guess a couple of YouTubers actually did put that up. Carnarsi. Oh, that's what's good. Okay. I'm from Crown Heights, man. Crown Heights, Ebbsfield. Ebbsfield, bro. Good to see you in the stream, my friend. T. Daniels, New York City, Bronx. Yeah, so Teron Dorsey, what's going on, bro? XRP is behind all this. Feels like it. And I think it's so obvious. It's in our faces. You know, sometimes people can't see it, but it's right there. It's right there. You can't forget about Ripple working with 50 central banks or governments. Why? Why is Ripple working with 50 central banks and/or governments? Why are they doing that? Why? Why didn't the government say, no, digital assets, no. No, why didn't they say, oh, no. We're already working with Jeb McCaleb and Stella Lunas. No. Why didn't they say that? How is Ripple got 70-80% of the banks in India on about to be live on Ripple Net in partnerships already? Why? You know, Kuwait. Why? Because it's not going to happen. Because it's not going to happen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm for woo. I'm from the woo. Oh, okay. I heard that, big face. Yeah, man. Brooklyn is in the building. Yeah, I don't see much, but I saw a little bit about that with Akon. Yeah, I saw a little bit about that, dude. I did. I saw a little bit about it. Me personally, I don't know enough about Stellar Lumen. I haven't heard good things though. And then what I mean by that is from the people who run it, especially Jeb. I don't think it's about the technology because it's pretty identical to XRP in terms of technology. What's up, Siege? Hope you've been well. I've been great, bro. Good to see you. Love the show. Been a fan for a long time. I appreciate that, Bobby Snakes. Appreciate that, bro. Hope you had a chance to subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Thanks for hanging out on a beautiful Sunday. Yeah, party at my house. When XRP moons. Right, so Pawan G, what's going on? I'm from India. I watch all your videos. Keep up the good work, brother. Oh, well, Pawan, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Make sure you get this channel out to more people, man. We're excited about the things that Ripple are going to be doing in India. So let me ask you, Pawan, what's going on with the digital asset space in India? Are people excited about it? And are they familiar with XRP? Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to share the other part of this video that I find very, very interesting. So BlackRock, we've talked about the SIFI, right? This is systemically important, right, to fail institutions, right? Talked about that before. I think it's interesting that Jim Rickards just bringing that up. Is BlackRock is going to be or wants to be one of those entities. That's a lot of money under assets, right? It's a lot, trillions. It's the biggest. You've seen digital asset investor link and tie, make the connections between Ripple and BlackRock, right? Guy from BlackRock leaves and goes to Ripple. A dude from Ripple leaves and goes to BlackRock. That's just not on accident, right? That's not just because, right? It's not job, they're not job hopping, right? They're not job hopping, right? Rob Mitchnick. Right. You understand what I'm saying? That wasn't a job hop, right? It's a bigger plan. It's a bigger plan than what we are. And the only reason why we know is because in the world of advancing technology, we can get access and pay attention. But here's the thing that I say all the time in this channel, is so very important to understand. Just because you and I know about the connection and the ties between BlackRock and Ripple and BNY Mellon, right? And Ripple and the CME group. Just because you and I know this doesn't mean that the masses, the 99.99% of the population knows about it. In fact, they don't know about it. Right? They don't know about it. We know because we're in the space, but more importantly, we're diving in. We have great deep divers. We take the time to do our homework, do our research, and pay attention. But you got to get how small we are in terms of numbers that are in the know. The vast majority of the world is not in the know. They don't even know about the digital asset space. They don't know that right underneath their nose, there's a new asset class being introduced to the world, and that people like BlackRock are in a quarter of a year. In the first quarter of one, was it $500 million? Just shy of $500 million in digital assets. They don't even know. The masses have no clue. That's why I say on this channel all the time, you and I, my friends, are playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we're winning, by the way. We're winning. Why are we winning? Number one, because we're early adopters in this new asset class. Could you imagine being an early adopter when they discovered precious metals, when they created this new commodities asset class? Could you imagine being an early adopter then? That's where we are today. That is, in fact, where we are today. And in my opinion, if you're an XRP hodler, you own the gold. But the great thing about it is this is a new asset class. And we have an opportunity to get silver and uranium and palladium. And it might be VeChain, Ethereum, and Tezos, and Link. It might be basic attention token, And we're here early. These things, vast majority of these things are under $5. The vast majority of them are under $1. Vast majority of them are under $3. Let me see. Tezos, $2.30. Link, $3.67, under $5. Basic attention tokens, 17 cents, under $1. XRP, under $1. Only one that's more than $1, more than $5 is Ethereum. And we're early. And not only early, we are in the know. We know about Tezos. We're not just hearing about Tezos. We know about Link. We're not just hearing about Link. We know about Ethereum. We're not just hearing about it. You understand the position that you're in, my friends? It's massive. It is massive. And if we all act like investors and not traders, it can be generational wealth. It can be generational wealth for all of us if we act like investors and not traders. It's a big difference. TheCrypticBloom.com says, that's right, brother. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you, Cryptic Bloom. TJ Jackson, what's going on, my friend? Very unique position. 1000% truth. Oh, I hear you, Pawan John. I'm holding huge quantity of XRP. I go to the moon after seeing your videos. Well, how about that, brother? I appreciate that. It's good to see India in the space now, guys. You got that ban lifted. It's so exciting to see that, Pawan. You got that ban lifted. You guys can get to some digital assets. Do me a favor, Pawan. Turn these people onto this channel so that they can learn more about this new asset class that is the digital asset space. Turn them on to the Crypto Siege, because we need more of them in this space. As I like to say, we need more of us in this space. Because when the new generational wealth is created, we need it to be in a good hand, in the hands of the good guys, not the greedy, but the people who want to continue to add value to people's lives, right? The people that want to, what is the word? The people who don't want to divide us, who want to bring all of us together, who want to learn and who appreciate and value the strengths and weaknesses of all of us together. Each of us needs all of us, right? And all of us need each of us. That's what it's all about. I have not heard what happened about that court case, Rob Singh. I think there's some other kind of new position happened with the plaintiff, which another firm are backing down. I think now they're saying, yeah, I do want to say that it wasn't a security. So I want to make that argument on it wasn't a security now. Like, really? Yeah, and so, you know, for me, Big Face, I take the Warren Buffett's approach. I did a video on this earlier today, my dude. I believe in the Warren Buffett approach in this asset space, right? Warren Buffett is infamously famous for saying this. You know, you don't need 20 and 50 different stocks. You don't need ownership in 20 to 50 different companies. If you just have 3, that's what he said, they will traditionally outdo those 20 or 50 that you have. But they have to be great companies. So you have to know that you know what you hold. That's the key. And so for me, I did a video and I actually penned a comment in the last video that I did. You know, when he said 3 companies, that's in a space, stock market, traditional market, that's been around for decades upon decades upon decades upon decades upon decades upon decades. So 3 great companies in the digital asset space. My sound is cutting out. So 3 in the digital asset space would be like 5 to 8 in the digital asset space. So 3 traditional great companies, in my opinion, because the digital asset space is so new, would be like 5 to 8 digital assets. And I said in the video, I pinned a comment. Actually, I said it in the video and I pinned a comment. Can you come up with 5 to 8? Think about it. Can you come up with 5 to 8 projects in the digital asset space that you know is going to be around for decades, that you could quantitatively qualify them as a great company, a great project? 5 to 8 that with absolute certainty you could say is going to be here for the long haul. I can't come up with 5 to 8. That means, my friends, that you and I are early in a new asset class. We can check one box with Ripple and XRP. I can probably think Ethereum for me and VeChain. I don't know enough about Link to say with absolute certainty. I know they're making moves. I just don't know that what they're doing is not different than what someone else is doing. I don't know that with absolute certainty. Tezos might be out in front in what they're doing, but they're not the only ones doing it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think Ethereum, I think XRP, and I think VeChain. I think Ethereum because there's a lot of money behind it. They got so many people working on it, and they're willing, unlike the people in the Bitcoin camp, they're willing to pivot and adjust to stay relevant, right? Moving from proof of work to proof of stake. Looking into, now BK says they've kind of already done it, but I don't know. Looking into finding out and figuring out a way to get ETH in the ILP and or XRPL and making that work. Open to it, open to that idea. To me says that Ethereum, Buteric, Vitalik, Buterin are willing to pivot and adjust to stay relevant in this digital asset space. And they chose the champ, right? XRP. They chose the champion to work with. So Ethereum, to me, XRP, and I think VeChain in the lane that it's in and the moves that they make has a shot to be first mover, to have first movers advantage and be number one in their space. I really do. I do believe that. Do they think they have a challenge outside of digital assets? Yes. So they're going after a space that's been created, and they're going to challenge that space with their technology. But there are people in the traditional space and that supply chain kind of world. It's been there. The difference with VeChain is they're bringing a new technology to that space, and it's one that works well, and they're establishing more and more partnerships. So I believe VeChain. So those would be the 3 that I would say that I have the certainty and absolute certainty that's going to be around for the long haul. And I get that. That's why I said in the comments, I said near absolute certainty, right? Because there's never a complete 100% certain guarantee of a thing. GXRP says the court case is just a ploy to keep retail investors' confidence down. I agree. I agree. Bobby Snake says, I day traded one time and lost, I don't know, like 150,000 shares one time. Yeah. Yeah. I believe if you take the investor approach in this digital asset space, you can win. Trading is another thing. Michelangelo's, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. I like your last video. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. You know? Absolutely, Bobby Snakes. If you aren't a day trader or swing trader, then your best bet is to just keep accumulating at these low prices and figure out your percentage points and at what prices you want to sell certain percentages. That's exactly right. That is 1,000% correct. Because in the end, the fact of the matter is that very few people are good at day trading or swing trading. That, my friend, is just the way it is. Very, very few people are good at it. I'm going to take the macro approach because I'm not good at day trading, swing trading, and take the macro approach. I'll just, I'll keep the cash flow up in other areas and keep the macro approach and stay as an investor. This idea of trying to live in the day trading world. Now, if you got tons of money that you can invest in learning it, cool, right? When I say learning it, I'm talking about on the job training, learning it. If you're in a position where you got tons of extra cash, where you can learn it, more power to you, then you can do that. But if you don't, and you're trying to get from month to month, you're trying to get from paycheck to paycheck, and you're taking what little bit of cash you got and trying to day trade it, I don't advise it. I just do not advise it. Yeah, it's like 3%, less than 3%. Bobby Snakes, you're exactly right. Less than 3% of day traders, swing traders are profitable, man. It's just the way it is. The numbers are the numbers. Why fight it? Why fight it? The numbers are the numbers. Like, why fight it? Not me. I'm not going to fight it. Look, 20 cents, 6 cents, XRP. For me, it doesn't matter. Because I'm in for the long term. And I'm not waiting for XRP to moon for me to live my life and create cash flow in other areas. No, no, no. I'm going out and living my life and creating cash flow in other areas. And when XRP does its thing, it does its thing. Big Face says, what do you mean a stable coin? Are you asking what is a stable coin, my friend? Or are you having a conversation with someone else, bro? Let me know what's up. Let me know what's good. Chris Pia, if we're going to cash this because of hyperinflation, there's a possibility that we shouldn't cash out at all. Very, very true. The question is, when are we going it? When are we doing it? For me, I had already made a decision, me and Miss Crypto Siege had already made a decision that less than 10% is going into the traditional space, finances, not real estate. I'm not saying real estate. Traditional spaces, some REITs, some ETFs, some index funds, some, all of that stuff, less than 10%, probably even less than 7%. The rest will stay and remain in the digital asset space. It's going to stay in digital, and it's going to stay on platforms like the Celsius network, where I can earn interest on my assets, and I can also leverage the value of my assets to go out into other places and earn more money, like the wealthy do. The wealthy do both of those things. They earn interest on their assets, and they leverage the value of their assets to do other things, takes loans out against those assets. That's what the that's what the high net worth and the ultra high net worth investors do. And the Celsius network allows you to do that. Oh, guys, 88 people on the stream, 52 likes. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't had a chance yet, just collapse the chat. Go smash the like, come back and hang out if you're enjoying the hangout. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, please do that as well. We're trying to get this channel out to all those people in India, like Pawan G. Let's see what's going on here. And there's True Bobby Snakes. Yeah. All right, brother. Bobby Snakes, be careful, brother. Bobby Snakes says, we're at the casino, y'all, but we've researched the hell out of 1 or 2 games and we get in, make our money and peace out. All right, brother. Be safe. Good luck to you, man. Much success to you, bro. Dark Matter Trading Group is in the building. What up, Siege? Long time. I know, bro. What's going on? Yeah, that's right. I forgot about gold and silver, Chris Pia. Absolutely, we'll have some in gold and silver. And that in that 7 to 10% in the traditional market, we will certainly have gold and silver. That's right. Tundra Muji Review says, I'm holding for a long time. No one can time the market. That's a betting game. Yeah, that's a betting game. You just can't time a market. That's the betting game. Investor all the way. I hear you, my friend. I am in that camp with you. Now, let me share. Hopefully, this audio is going to not echo. Another part of this video from Jim Rickards. Interesting. Oh, I can mute my audio there. Mute my audio. No, I don't want to do that because then you won't be able to hear the video. I'm thinking. Zoom says mute my audio. And then I got my audio. I can mute my computer audio. All right, let's see. Let's see. Share screen. Share computer sound.
The government to freeze accounts, assets, even whole institutions at will. The only condition is that there's some threat to national security with a foreign connection. Of course, with a global market, every financial crisis has a foreign connection. Any systemic crisis fits the bill. And the thing is, when the next crisis hits, it's going to be so bad, President Trump won't have any choice but to go along with the elite's plan.
Wow, that is, you have to admit, that sounds somewhat hard to believe. Now, how could these operatives actually freeze a whole country's financial system?
Well, fortunately, we have some recent real-life examples to study. The elites have been conducting a series of dry runs for years, leading up to ICE 9. Look at Cyprus, for example. A few years ago, the Cypriot economy was in trouble, especially the banks. The IMF stepped in and loaned Cyprus $10 billion, but the loan came with strings. Now, pay attention, because this is precisely what they're going to do. But imagine it on a global scale. So in exchange for the capital injection, the IMF demanded control over the Cypriot banking system. More specifically, the IMF froze the entire system, literally every bank in the country. And they did that to ensure the IMF's demands were met, including strict capital controls. So how did all of this impact regular citizens? Their local ATMs went dark. Even the bank branches closed, permanently in some cases. Citizens could not withdraw cash. They couldn't even transfer funds from one account to the other. What came next? Wealth extraction on a grand scale. The IMF basically stole 6 to 10% of all the cash in the Cypriot bank accounts. How did the elites justify this? They called it a levy, the price regular citizens had to pay for their government's missteps. Keep in mind, these asset confiscations were done at the balance sheet level with the institutions themselves. They never had to confiscate individual accounts. They froze every account by controlling a handful of the country's biggest banks. When the next crisis hits, we're going to see this here in the US and around the world, and it'll be a highly coordinated global attack on the entire system simultaneously.
All right, but hold on here. Wasn't Cyprus a fairly isolated example of the globalist elites taking over a nation's banking system?
Not even close, John. The same thing has happened in other places. It's happening in Greece right now. As you know, Greece has been navigating a massive debt crisis for years. In 2015, the IMF and their partners moved in to recapitalize Greece's banks. That just means they agreed to pump capital back into the stalled system, like priming a pump. In return, the IMF demanded control of the banks and citizens' individual accounts by default. Suddenly, Greek families weren't allowed to withdraw more than $460 per week. Imagine trying to pay your mortgage, gas, and groceries on less than $500, let alone your medical insurance. Of course, it led to widespread panic, rioting, and worse. And that's exactly what we'll see on a global scale when the next crisis hits.
Now, clearly, a national freeze can devastate the citizens big time. So my question is, why would the elites even want to do that?
Well, you're right, of course. This has been devastating to Greek citizens. But the short answer is control. To save itself from insolvency, Greece gave up its economic autonomy. The country is, for all intents and purposes, under the control of the European Central Bank and the IMF. Yet this top-down approach still hasn't solved the problem. As one Greek official told Reuters, the banks are in a deep freeze, but the economy is getting weaker. This is a microcosm of what we're about to see in America and around the world.
But still, I mean, really, aren't Greece and Cyprus fairly isolated examples?
Unfortunately, if you think governments tend to keep their hands off citizens' assets, you're mistaken. Elites have a long history of seizing control of people, institutions, and especially money. In February of 1917, for example, the Russian elite, who believed in a one-world workers' party, closed the stock market. Folks lost every penny. Their portfolios literally vanished overnight. The Russian exchanges remained closed for nearly 7 stock exchanges instantaneously. Imagine if you had been trying to sell. Your money would have been locked into the system and your net worth would have been plummeting by the second. Meanwhile, you're just watching it happen, totally powerless to do anything about it. What we're seeing right now is an increase in the tempo of these mini shocks and mini freezes. They're coming faster and faster. You had 9/11 followed by a freeze. We had the flash crash of 2010 followed by a freeze. And in 2012 with Hurricane Sandy.
But you're talking about American stock markets. I mean, if the elites do freeze our exchanges and brokerage accounts, won't our cash be safe in the banks?
No. In fact, the biggest bank freeze to date happened right here in the USA. Of course, I'm talking about Roosevelt signing Proclamation 2039 in 1933. With one stroke of his pen, FDR shuttered every bank in America. A few weeks later, he followed up by freezing the entire gold market. Executive Order 6102 literally outlawed citizens from owning gold. That freeze lasted
a crisis, guys, and then a freeze. A crisis and then a freeze. A crisis and then a freeze. And he actually laid out as a third thing to that as well. A crisis and then a freeze. And so where are we now? Where are we now, guys? Hey, Jerry Guy, what's going on with you, my friend? How are you doing, Jerry God? What were you saying about Coinbase? You woke up and you some fees? Stay away from Coinbase, man. Binance US. So guys, a crisis and then a freeze. I agree with Jim Rickers on a lot of things, Chandra Music Review. And I believe it because he's an insider. He is a global insider, geopolitically inside. And the reason why he talks about the house and the whole fortress thing is because the people are going to be desperate for finding food, money, and all that stuff. So a crisis, like what is literally going on right now is unprecedented, right? Because like he says in his books, a crisis always has to be followed by a bigger crisis, a bigger crisis. And it's funny too, because I find people like Rickards and Kiyosaki, I'm noticing that they're in these very, very obscure places. Very, very obscure places. And I think there's a reason for that. I already see lines and lines and lines and lines of places like New York, people in the street lining up for food because either they're getting a major discount on the food or it's a full bag full of free food. So yeah, we're starting that now, Tundra Music Review, to be honest with you. We really are. And yeah, we're going to have another conversation where I'm ultimately going to have to make a decision on the whole, weapons and all that, ultimately, but just kind of the way it is. But yeah, we're in the process of doing that now. And we live in a, very highly guarded community already, so, it's funny. Me and Miss Crypto Seeds were talking about this the other day. A lot of people talk gated communities, right? They live in a gated community, Yeah. And they do, but the gated community is a person who checks you in and out of a hotel, right? That's not a gated community. That's not a safe place. We literally have, armed police officers, literally armed police officer. And I don't mean just checking you in, checking out, like literally all throughout the community. You know what I mean? So, gated community, I'm not sure if that's going to suffice, right? Because here's the thing, a security guard, they're not going to come to the rescue, right? They're not going to come to the rescue. You know what I mean? They're just not going to come to the rescue. You need some people that can come to the rescue. And, while you're defending off as much as you possibly can, you got to have somebody that can come to the rescue and can make can make an arrest, right? Who's trained in taking the bad guys down. Security guards, not so much trained in how to take the bad guys down. Carlos Noda, how are you, Cesar? I'm doing outstanding. Carlos, how are you? Crisis and then a freeze, guys. And we are in the midst of a crisis. So the idea is, how can we prepare for the freeze? Bobby Snake. So yeah, right now you're paying for fine silver 40% premium over spot, huh? Ooh. Yeah, I'm not prepared to do that. I just think that ultimately in time, that's going to change, I believe. What do you think, Bobby Snakes? I think ultimately in time that's going to change. And I guess you have to say, well, is it going to be cheaper now to pay that in the 40% over? Is there going to be a window where there's not that price of 40% premium over spot, and yet the moon has not happened for silver and gold yet? I think there is going to be a little window there. And so in other words, this kind of temporary recovery, 60, 90 days, if you will. where you'll be able to get it. I don't know though. I'm not an expert, but that's what I believe. You know, and I just think for me, you know, one of the ways that I am preparing for a freeze is to be in digital assets, because I think the freeze is going to be primarily in the banking fiat dollar world. That's where I believe it's going to be. Right? It's generally in the banking world, right? Because the vast majority of people trust the banks, keep their money there, they're not thinking about it. Again, remember, 99.99% of the masses don't even know this game is being played. They don't know. And trust me when I tell you this, the powers that be rely on the head in the sand factor. They rely upon it. They're dependent upon it. They hedge their strategy based upon it. The head and sand factor. Because they know there's going to be the vast majority of people with their head in the sand that don't even know what's going on. And they know that the people that are in the know, who are trying to let people know, aren't getting listened to. Most of them aren't being paid attention to. They know it. They know it. Why do you think what happened with London Real and the guy from London Real, I forget his name now, goodness gracious, I forget his name, but he had the guy David Icke on. Why do you think that happened? Banned from YouTube, LinkedIn. I think he got his LinkedIn thing back. But that dude, the dude from London Real, went through some major bannings. Why do you think that is? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not certain that exchanges are a safe place to have your digital assets. Ledger Nanos, your own hardware wallets. And I would recommend having at least two hardware wallets, right? At least two of, you know, two Trezors, two Ledger Nano S, maybe an S and an X, Trezors and EliPals, right? Split them up. That's the best way to operate. It's a little challenging dealing with three and having two of each brand, but it's safer. Thank God we got early in the space where we can deal with it, right? We can deal with these keys and lock them up and keep them safe and all that stuff. Carlos Noda actually downloaded and saved that video, Siege. Which one? The one with Jim Rickards? Or the London Real one? You're talking about the London Real one. Did you really? Good for you. I'm thinking you're talking the London Real one, huh, Carlos? I watched it on his website. The Ledger Live is just really, ultimately, it's just accounting. It's just a tracking. Your assets are not on Ledger Live, right? It's just an accounting of where your assets are. If you're using it with a ledger, right? Your assets are ultimately on the ledger. That's where your keys are. It's just an accounting, if you will. It's a tracker. Yep. True, Jerry God. I mean, yep. It is the truth. And I think that's why people kind of started going with the EliPals, to be honest with you, Jerry God. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Bobby Snakes. That's what I'm thinking, and I'm kind of planning for it. You know, I don't want to say unfortunate, but I did sell all my gold and silver to get into the digital asset space, to get into XRP. but I know ultimately real wealth requires a certain amount of gold and silver in your portfolio. I mean, it's the way it is. That's a fact. I'm going to look into Atomic more too, but DC Precise. I do like Ellie Powell. So here's the thing. Bobby Snake says at Crypto Siege, there may be an influx of silver since the demand is crazy. And if that influx coincides during this artificial, yep, that's exactly what it is. Great way to put it. This artificial false recovery, then that lower silver premiums window may open up. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. That's really what I'm thinking. And that's what I'm hoping for. I really am, you know, because I know it's hugely important to own gold and silver for ultimate wealth. You just got to hold it. And it's quite honestly, it's about accumulating it. It's not about spending it. It's about accumulating it as a form of wealth. So I'm hoping for that little window. And really excited, guys. Cash value life insurance. Yeah, I will be on the phone with those guys on Monday to look into it. I got the digital assets kind of where I want them in terms of XRP, which means I'm going to take at least half of that monthly allotment for XRP, at least half of it. I'm going to put it into this high cash value life insurance. I'm going to see what it looks like. I'm going to make sure I get my PUA rider in there. I'm going to make sure it's adjusted, that the MEC limit is adjusted for it. And I'm going to play that instrument, right? It's an investment tool, and I'm going to play it and see how it goes. I'm going to fill you in on it, how it works. I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with this expert. Really looking forward to it. And I'm going to share it with you guys. So, but yeah, and part of that, digital asset thing will be gold and silver. And I'm going to probably split up the gold and silver with Ethereum and VeChain. So it'll be Ethereum, VeChain, gold and silver. Ethereum, VeChain, gold and silver. Ethereum, VeChain, gold and silver. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I have to think about the other digital assets and see. I have to kind of play it out and see. It's so hard to kind of get a good percentage. Digital assets, how am I going to split that up and still buy gold and silver? It's going to be challenging. Tundra Music Guru says, how will gold and silver play into the crypto thing? Well, yeah, and so it's just portfolio allocation, right? And so I'm excited about the fact that Celsius is going to be bringing gold in the near future, 3 weeks, to the platform. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it, and you're going to be able to earn gold on your gold. Now, God knows whether or not it's going to be for U.S. investors. This just always seems to be a challenge there with U.S. investors, but we'll see. We'll see how they do it. So it's an asset allocation thing. Tundra Music Review, and I just got to kind of figure out, now that the greatest digital asset is set up perfectly, how do I divvy out what's left from the high cash value life insurance instrument, financial instrument that I'll be investing in? What's left, and how do I divvy that up in the digital asset space and gold and silver? I have to figure those numbers out, because I don't know what it's going to look like, because it wasn't a plan to do the high cash value life insurance and leverage that financial instrument. It wasn't a plan for that. But the more and more I read, I knew that I had to add that to the tool belt. I just had to add it to the tool belt. It was just too. Sound is gone. Why does my sound keep cutting out? Can you guys hear me? Oh, Tundra Music Review. How about that? at Crypto Seed? I don't know. I'm going through Palm Beach Research Group. I'm going to go through their experts. I'm going to talk to them about which companies they work with, right? Because I know some criterias, right? Got to be mutual. Can't be a new mutual company. That's not gonna, you don't want to run with someone that's been around for like 5 years. You want some with some decades, if not, 100 years or so in the space, right? Type deal. So that's what I'm going to be looking at, and this is pretty much who they work with. I'm certain of that. So sound is fine. Okay, guys, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. Somebody said the sound wasn't too good, so I appreciate that. So that's what I'm looking into. So what company are you using? I'm looking into the PUA too. I got a call with Garrett's team Tuesday. Cool. Very good. Yeah, good for you, bro. Yeah, let us know how that's going to work out, man, especially if you can get back on to us with Wealth Wednesdays. And guys, by the way, just to let you know, just in case you're not familiar, on this channel, we do something called Wealth Wednesdays, Generational Wealth Strategies, every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk ways we learn together about how to create generational wealth and keep it, but more importantly, how to prepare for the wealth that will come from the digital asset space. We talk books, we read books together. We started out with Strangers in Paradise by Jason Grubman, right? We're reading now currently, Garrett Gunderson's book, Killing Sacred Cows. And it's about being prepared for this wealth that is going to come as investors, as early adopters in this digital asset space. And we have to be prepared for it. Most importantly is to be prepared for it, right? So we talk wealth advisor teams. We talk having a team of an accountant, a lawyer, financial investment banker, wealth advisor. We talk how to question and how to vet these potential people so that you can ask the right questions and get the right team. Of course, always the first team is never always the right team, right? But you got to get a team together, that type of thing like that. Tim Lambert, what's going on, bro? Long time. Good to see you, friend. Your thoughts on Celsius? I'm a big fan of Celsius, Tim Lambert. Love that platform. Absolutely love it. I leverage all the things that it offers. Absolutely love it. Jerry, God, how are you, my friend? Is it a good idea to diversify XRP profits into real estate, stocks, and precious metals? Well, you certainly, good idea. I mean, and the whole idea is you want to be diversified in different places, right? That's what I'll question. You want to have something in the digital assets space and then traditional spaces, right? The question is, how much are you wanting to have in the traditional space? Like for me in my household, it'll be 10% or less in the traditional space, like real estate. Vast majority I will keep in the digital asset space. That's the future, in my opinion. Starting to Macon says China and Russia are backing their crypto with gold. They're going to back their crypto with gold. So are we talking their CBDC, huh, Starting to Macon? So that's really kind of the thing. How long have I been going, guys? I don't even know. I can't even see how long I've been going on here. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Celsius platform. I love the idea of earning BTC on my BTC. I love the idea of earning ETH on my ETH, earning 0x on my 0x, earning XRP on my XRP. Absolutely love it. I love the idea of borrowing against the value of my assets. Now, this is just personally what I do. Certainly not recommending, for you guys to do it. I love looking into that, checking it out, and seeing how it works, right? I tested it small amount, and absolutely loving that platform and how it's working. So I'm just a big fan. And not only can you earn interest on your assets, then if you leave it on the platform, you earn interest on that interest. So for me, big fan of Celsius. If you haven't learned about Celsius Network, I encourage you to certainly do so. I really, really do. There is no amount to join, Jerry God. No, absolutely no amount to join. at all. There's no fees for depositing, withdrawing, like zero fees. You know, and I like that. They just decreased the minimum loan amount from, I think the minimum loan amount was 1,500. They moved that down to 1,000. I like that. Really do like that. Oh, you're welcome, Jerry God. Absolutely. Yeah, big fan. In fact, I'm gonna put my link to Celsius in the description for you guys. Again, I would encourage you to do your homework. You watch as many Ask Me Anything interviews, if you will, with what's his name? Alex Mashinsky. I would definitely encourage you to do that. Do your own homework, definitely do due diligence. I did mine for over a year and a half, checking it out. And, you know, looking at different videos, learning more about it, checking the success of the platform, checking the community and what they were doing, all of that stuff. I don't know if you need to. No, they don't freeze your assets. Who asked that question? Open mind. Nope. And there's a link right there, guys, if you want to learn more about it. If you deposit more than $100 on there, your initial investment, you and I get $10, and I believe the $10 is in BTC. But yeah, they don't freeze your assets. But I'm a big fan of that platform. Big time fan of the platform. TJ Jackson, yeah, I hear you, my friend. I hear you. I took advantage of that for a little while, the Power Piggy on BitTrue. But it was just too many alarms, I think, for me to continue in it. So I stayed with it for about 60 days, maybe. And then I just took all my VeChain. I had VeChain on there, took all my VeChain off. You're welcome, Jerry God. Capello MG, cryptos. Any sleeping giants we keep our eyes on? I don't know about sleeping giants. A lot of people are big on Holochain and Hedera Hashgraph. You know, Link is Link is a fascinating project with the oracles. I do find it interesting that Link hooked up with Kava Labs. So you're talking about two, emerging projects, Kava Labs and Link, right? It's an interesting hookup. Very excited about it. And by the way, Celsius Network ended up hooking up with Link as well. So you think about Link, they got the whole Google thing. Everyone's selling that and promoting that Google partnership. But now you got Link hooking up with two projects that I'm very excited about, Kava and Celsius Network. So Link's making some moves, right? So there's got to be, for Alex Mashinsky to do anything with any other project, right? Because he is a big time. You can't be a slouch and hook up with Celsius Network. Let's put it that way. You cannot be a slouch and hook up with the Celsius Network. That dude will not allow it. He is not going to bring on anything, partner with, work with anything that is going to cause harm to that project, to the Celsius project. So, I mean, you can kind of take that for what it's worth, right? Designer X is in the building. How are you, my friend? Good to see you in the stream. I don't think I've seen you here before, Designer X. What do you mean by, is it worth starting with $100? Designer X, what do you mean by that? Is it worth it? You don't have to start with 100. You can start with any amount that you want. What I was saying that if you use the link that I left in the chat, and if your initial deposit is $100 or more, then you and I would get $10 in BTC. But you could start out with $5 on Celsius. You could put $5 on there. Oh yeah, no. I only have a small portion, Tundra Music Review on Celsius. Just a small portion, right? So I am, 90 days into using it. I will never have the majority on my assets on a platform currently, right? Currently. Who knows what might happen a year from now, 2 years from now. Right now they got, they provide through BitGo $100 million in insurance, right? And then they got $10 million. That's hot storage. And they got 10 million on cold storage, or is it the other way around? Yeah, 100 million cold, 10 million on the hot wallets, right? So that's what it is right now. But what if 3 years from now, they hook up with PolySign? You never know. What if they hook up with Ardo Britto and David Schwartz's thing, right? 2 or 3, 5 years from now. What if they do that? Then there's not much need for a Ledger Nano X then. You know what I mean? So, but for the time being, I don't, the vast majority, over 95% is still in cold storage. Right now I'm testing the platform, but I'm really liking what I see with Celsius. Haram, good to see you in the stream, my friend. Link as in chain link. Yes, sir. Yep. Now, don't get me wrong. I think, the ILP is already capable of doing what Chainlink is doing, right? But what if it doesn't, go in that direction? What if the ILP is just used, in another shape, form, or fashion, right? There is no ILP coin, right? Now the ILP can do it, but there's no ILP coin, right? So that's kind of the difference in Link. You can do something with Link if you want to. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah, Tanjik Music Review. Isn't the whole life insurance concept about having all money in there, making interest compound and just borrow against it? Or are you going to sell all crypto and put it in life insurance? Negative. My number one play is in the digital asset space. The whole life insurance concept is just another financial instrument. But no, I will not be selling digital assets to do that. Nope. I got a business, right? Got business income. I cash flow that business and I'll, put it into that whole life insurance concept vehicle, financial instrument, as I like to call it. But the digital asset space for me is the number one play. I mean, where else can you get the gains? You can't get that life insurance is just a safe investment tool, very, very safe investment tool where you can leverage tax-free, growing tax-free, all that different kind of stuff, be in your own bank and those kind of concepts. But you're not going to get 10,000% returns, right? You're just not going to get that there. So. Designer X, are there other YouTubers you recommend to keep learning? Yeah, absolutely. The Modern Investor, I think is the number one content creator in the space. The Modern Investor, I think he has two YouTube channels. Crypto Eddie, ERI, I think she's absolutely great and wonderful in what she does. Without question, great and wonderful in what she does. I like BK's channel because it's a thought-provoking channel. It causes you to think outside of the box, and I enjoy that. So I like his channel for that. That's Brad Kimes. I think his channel is named Brad Kimes, not Investment Perspectives, right? But yeah, just Brad Kimes, right? So I like those for kind of learning. The Digital Nomad Investor is great for kind of getting better with your geopolitical view and understanding how the world works in terms of digital and how it relates to XRP. I think that's a great one. Digital Nomad Investor. All right, guys, listen, I think I'm going to wrap this up now. I think I've been going for over an hour. You guys are having a great conversation. Listen, guys, this is a great hangout. I appreciate you guys hanging out on a Sunday afternoon. I think I started at 1 o'clock. Man, did I go for 2 hours? Wow. I think I did go for 2 hours. So I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me as well. Designer Exercise, thank you. Just subscribe to all of those. Excellent, brother. Excellent, brother. There you go. Absolutely great stuff. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome, Capella. Carlos, Noda. All right, see. Yeah, guys, listen, have a great rest of your day. Understand this. For you, I hope this is a head up and shoulders moment for you in your life, because you're an early adopter in this new asset class that is a digital asset space. And you are playing a game, my friends, that 99.9% of the masses don't even know is being played, and you're winning. Oh, that's right. Jungle Inc. as well. Yep, Jungle Inc. as well. Jungle Inc.'s great. To the Lifeboats. To the Lifeboats is great as far as an overall knowledge of ILP, XRP, XRP as well. So, all right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up the stream like I do all of my streams and remind you of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sideline? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.